Endless Sports.
What's up, Pep?
There are things to talk about.
Yes.
You know, and a lot of people are like, okay, you do sports. What are you going to talk about? And it's like, well, you got to work a little harder, but you can find things. We're not going to talk about cricket and some of these other international sports. I think there's some rugby going on.
At least not yet. We might get there, but not yet.
I just saw on Twitter that people were racing marbles, and like they were really into it. Like that's how bad it's getting. Like we just want some competition.
I've seen a lot of people doing the video game simulations and like trying to bet on those.
Yes, yes.
It's pretty funny.
You know, there was a push to get the NCAA brackets published anyways, because even though we didn't have the conference tournaments, for example, UC Riverside didn't get a chance to make it to the Big Dance because the Big West tournament in Anaheim was shut down. All the conference tournaments were shut down, and that's how you find your automatic qualifiers for the NCAA tournament. You win your conference tournament. Anyways, long story short, they were still going to take the regular season conference champions, kind of slot how the March Madness would have looked, just so people could have a bracket and have something fun to talk about. Like, man, I got so-and-so winning the national championship. This is how I think it would play out. No, you're right. No, you're wrong.
More torturous, though, to see the matchups that we could have had and we would never end up seeing.
Yes.
I guess, but man, I'm kind of into it, though, like at the same time.
I see both ways on that.
Pep's like, give me something.
Something. Give me some brackets, you know.
You just have to accept it. The coronavirus is your 2020 national champion.
Oh my gosh.
It sucks, but it's true.
And it might be your NBA champion. It might be your Stanley Cup champion. It might be a lot of different things.
It's only getting worse right now.
Oh, man. We will talk more coronavirus, but the NFL's plugging ahead. There is big-time NFL news we're going to get to. It's all brought to you by Matheson Gas. They are the gas professionals, so if you need gas, this might be the perfect time to go get you some propane, whatever you might need for your home or your local business. I know businesses are trying to also push forward here. Go to MathesonGas.com online. You can check out their products, their services there, and then you can visit one of their 3 locations in Fontana, Rancho Cucamonga, or Riverside. That is Matheson Gas. They are the gas professionals. Also your welding supplies and all your gas supplies. So the March 18th, which is Wednesday, is the new NFL season. But today's when that legal tampering period begins, where you can negotiate with free agents.
Right. We've seen a lot of tentative deals be announced, but they're not official until the league year starts.
And actually, this kind of went under the radar because of the coronavirus and everything else going on. But Ryan Tannehill agreed to a huge contract extension with the Tennessee Titans, which kind of is that first domino to fall for these quarterbacks, because everyone thought Tennessee was one of 2 or 3 teams that would get Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Right? And now they're out of it.
And I've seen reports that the 49ers have pretty much pulled out of the Tom Brady race as well.
Yes. And I'm sticking to my guns. I thought from the beginning he would be back in New England.
I think there's still one more chance out there, and that is, and 40 and I were talking about this a little bit earlier, and that is at Tampa Bay. And only because we believe that Jameis Winston, because they're signing a big pass rusher, is going to get pushed into free agency. And the rumor is that Bruce Arians really does want to get Tom Brady because he feels like just one more year with a passer like him who makes good decisions. Because let's face it, the Bucs could have actually done something last year if they didn't have Jameis throwing a bazillion interceptions and just making terrible decisions.
Yeah, and if you look at Tampa Bay, I think their fans and they feel like they're a quarterback away from being super competitive. Like, they've got some great receivers. They got a great offense. Like, they could win now.
However, you feel he's going to stay in New England?
I still feel like he's going to be a Patriot when it's all said and done.
That's where Pep is, 40.
I feel like he's going to end up in New England, but I do feel there are 2 other teams. The Chargers, I think, would be a good spot for him.
Good for TB12.
He wants to be in L.A. Or the Raiders still seem to be pushing for him real hard despite having Derek Carr.
I am feeling Tampa. So I'll put my. I actually kind of think he's going to stay in Foxborough, but I'll go out on a limb.
Wait, just for a second. Just think about Tom Brady in a Tampa Bay Bucs uniform.
Very
like,
strange.
Oh my gosh!
Tom Brady in the throwback creamsicle.
I can't even wrap my brain around that.
You know what? He can fix that number 12. Didn't Dilfer have it? He had number 12. He was awful. Help him out.
So I don't know. Maybe by Wednesday we'll know something with Tom Brady, which is insane.
It'll be fun because, like you said, a lot of dominoes shall fall.
Yes. If Tom Brady decides, like even the Ryan Tannehill thing, not a huge newsmaker, but still, with him deciding to go back to Tennessee or Tennessee bringing him back, whatever you want to say it, I mean that was a big deal.
The size of that contract pretty much shows Marcus Mariota's done there.
Yes.
So,
Marcus Mariota's out. New England? I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
See, that's what I keep thinking about with the Patriots. Bill Belichick and that whole team, they're so smart and savvy. There's no backup plan. Like, they don't have a backup for Tom Brady.
For the first time in a long time. They've had a backup for a long time.
Yes.
The first time they don't.
If Tom Brady walks, like, who's the next guy up? Like, they don't have a plan B. Like, Tom Brady's the plan.
Belichick wants to plug in Mariota. Huh?
Hey, I don't know. That could be an option.
Dink and dunk with a little bit of wheels.
That's an option.
Now, have we heard anything about, as far as the NFL draft, what's going to happen with all that?
Man, I think it's too early to say. I mean, you guys know, like, day by day, hour by hour, things are changing. The NFL season is pushing ahead. They just ratified the new collective bargaining agreement.
Big news.
They're going to go on with free agency, so all those things. But with the CBA, I did want to point out a couple things. The collective bargaining agreement, they're going to go from 12 to 14 playoff teams this year.
Correct. 2 more teams.
Yeah,
One
2 more
from each
teams.
conference.
One from each conference. And as early as 2021, the following season, we could have even 17 regular season games if the owners decide to do that, which the owners will decide to do that.
They will. They're just not sure if they're going to do it in 2021 or 2022.
Correct.
I believe that this will be the off-site game, and these will be the international ones, like
It could
London,
be.
like Mexico City, for each team to go international, NBA style, if you will.
Yeah, it could be. It could very well be. So the CBA's locked in. Like, the NFL's actually getting stuff done right now because these are things you could probably do sitting in an office somewhere.
Baby.
Yeah, or by phone.
Let your fingers do the walking, my dad would say.
Yeah. So they got that done. Free agency begins this week. So by the time I pop back in here Thursday, there could be some huge NFL news going down. So we'll see how that pans out.
No actual on-field play, but all the off-field drama.
We're finally here.
Yeah, we've got, let's see, no NBA, no NHL, the Masters, NASCAR. I could go on and on.
One of the major headlines I've heard about the NBA that I think is kind of not being talked about as much as it should be is with these, maybe even up to 8 weeks off of the season, we could come back right before playoffs, and the Brooklyn Nets could have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving playing.
Like, all of a sudden, they're like a super team, right?
I mean, Giannis has got to be pissed in the East.
Yes.
Totally. They've been dominating.
And something I read last night is the NBA's thinking they might not return until June.
Right.
Like, I don't know how, this is my personal hunch, that they would take however the standings look right now,
Right.
and just say, that's your regular season. Sorry, guys, we're going straight to the playoffs. However it looks right now when the coronavirus hit, that's the standings. That's the regular season, and we're going to slot you in the playoffs like that.
I mean, I will say, too, they're also saying the headlines that Klay Thompson will be coming back, too, at some point in this time period, but the Warriors are just way too far out to do anything. But, I mean, the fact that the Brooklyn Nets could get Kevin Durant back for a playoff run is gnarly.
I think this is going to be the busiest fall ever.
It's going to be insane because our team's going to...
Concerts, sports, everything.
Yeah. We've got Coachella and
Huge.
Stagecoach now in
It's gonna be a
October.
mess.
So many things. I feel like October feels like that magic month where a lot of people thought, okay, the coronavirus, it's going to run its course. By October, it should all be safe. And we're going to put everything that we postponed into October.
Be ready.
Could be a busy fall.
Yeah, so it could be very, very insane. But yeah, the local effect with Major League Baseball postponing at least 2 weeks, that affects the 66ers, the Quakes, the storm down in Lake Elsinore, NHL suspending that we're talking about the Ontario rain. So like all of these high-level professional leagues and that trickle-down effect here down to the Inland Empire, like it's... Again, there's nothing going on. No high school, no college, nothing.
It really is ruining everything. It is ruining everything.
And this is such a great time of the year. We're getting ready for baseball. We've got March Madness. I mean, thank the Lord we still got NFL free agency.
Right.
Like, we got something to talk
That's the
about.
one bit of news we seem to have coming out now.
Get your stuff.
Listen, we're still talking local sports. We're still trying to push forward. It's all over Inland Sports, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the YouTube channel.
Inland Sports.